The NBA never sleeps, and tonight, the hardwood is set for high-stakes drama. From Cleveland to Chicago, and Memphis to Minnesota, injuries, breakout stars, and explosive matchups are shaping games that could go down to the wire. Every rebound, every assist, every possession matters, and the lines, props, and trends are painting a story that fans won't want to miss. Strap in, because we're breaking down every key stat, every player prop, and every trend across these two must-watch matchups. Game 1. Cavaliers vs. Bulls. Cleveland enters this contest as a -5.5 favorite against Chicago, but the absence of Evan Mobley looms large. Mobley is officially out, and Sam Merrill, who was already questionable, won't be suiting up either. On the other side, the Bulls' Il Dumu is listed as questionable, leaving some uncertainty in their rotation. Looking at team defenses over the past month, Chicago has struggled to contain opponents, giving up the 6th most points in the league. Cleveland, by comparison, sits around the middle of the pack, allowing the 16th most points. These numbers suggest a high-scoring affair, with the total expected to land somewhere in the 240s. The last time these two teams met, back on November 8, Cleveland managed a 128-122 victory, hinting at another tightly contested battle. Yet with Mobley out, the Cavaliers' frontcourt takes a hit, opening opportunities for players like Jalen Tyson. Tyson, the small forward for Cleveland, has been a force on the boards recently. Over his last 6 games, he's averaging 30 minutes per contest, pulling down roughly 9 rebounds out of 15 chances. Against Chicago specifically, he's recorded 17 points and 7 rebounds in prior matchups, and he has a career high of 13 rebounds in a single game, which came under similar circumstances without Mobley. Given that the Bulls allow the 3rd most rebounds over the past month, Tyson's over 5.5 rebounds prop looks like a natural fit for the game's flow. On the Bulls' side, Coby White has shown consistent playmaking ability, and with the Cavaliers giving up the 14th most assists in the league, his over 3.5 assists prop is worth highlighting. White averages 5 assists per game this season and matched that figure in last season's meetings with Cleveland. Though he fell short in a blowout previously, tonight's matchup is shaping up to be more competitive, potentially giving him another chance to showcase his passing prowess. Recent spread trends paint a mixed picture. The Cavaliers have covered in 3 of their last 10 games, while Chicago has only managed 2 covers over the same span. Despite Cleveland's favorite status, the betting lean subtly edges toward the home team. The Cavaliers have struggled in their last 2 outings, which, combined with Chicago's ability to push pace and exploit gaps in Cleveland's defense, sets the stage for a high-scoring, dynamic game. Analytically, this matchup has elements that could appeal to multi-leg parlay scenarios, particularly for rebounds and assists given the prop setups. Tyson's rebounding opportunity paired with White's assist potential aligns with recent trends, suggesting a combination where individual contributions could swing the game's narrative. The scoring tendencies, injury adjustments, and historical matchup data all point toward a competitive, edge-of-your-seat battle. The Cavaliers-Bulls clash tonight is more than just a test of talent. It's a story of adaptation, resilience, and exploiting opportunities created by absences. As we follow every possession, the interplay between Tyson's boards and White's distribution could define the game's rhythm. For fans of dramatic, high-scoring contests, this is a matchup that promises fireworks from the tip. Key notes recap. Spread. Cavaliers -5.5. Injuries. Cavaliers. Evan Mobley out, Sam Merrill out, Bulls. Il Dumu questionable. Team points allowed. Bulls 6th most, Cavaliers 16th most. Expected total, 240s. Player props. Jalen Tyson over 5.5 rebounds, Coby White over 3.5 assists. Recent H2H. Cavaliers won 128-122 on November 8. Spread trends. Cavaliers 3-10, Bulls 2-10. Betting lean angle. Slight edge to home team, high-scoring game expected. The NBA season continues to heat up, and tonight's matchup between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Minnesota Timberwolves carries all the elements of a high-stakes showdown. Injuries, lineup adjustments, and potent offensive matchups have combined to set the stage for a fast-paced, high-intensity contest. Every possession matters, and the storyline is rich with individual battles and team trends that could define the outcome. Let's break it down. Game 2. Grizzlies vs Timberwolves. Minnesota comes into this game as a -7.5 favorite over Memphis, a number that reflects not only their talent but also the significant roster issues facing the Grizzlies. Memphis will be without Zach Edey and Cam Spencer, while John Moore and Brandon Clark are listed as questionable. On the Timberwolves side, Mike Conley is out, and Anthony Edwards is questionable with soreness, leaving uncertainty in their star backcourt. The matchup leans heavily toward Minnesota on both ends of the court. Dante DiVincenzo has emerged as a key scoring option, particularly if Edwards is sidelined. Against Memphis, DiVincenzo has historically thrived. When Edwards is out, he has hit his points prop in all but one game, averaging 28 points. With both Edwards and Conley out, that average rises to 30 points, showcasing his ability to shoulder the scoring load. Additionally, his points over 13.5 prop has hit in 7 of his last 10 games, and in games without Edwards, he averages 18 points per game. With both out, he averages roughly 20 points per contest. The Grizzlies give up the third most points to point guards, 12th most rebounds, and 16th most assists overall, creating the perfect environment for DiVincenzo to dominate offensively. On the other side, Cedric Coward of Memphis faces a tough test against Minnesota's defensive structure. The Timberwolves rank 10th least in points allowed to shooting guards, 2nd least in rebounds allowed, and 4th least in assists allowed. Coward's under 25.5 points prop aligns with these defensive tendencies. Further complicating Memphis's outlook, Morant is playing under 30 minutes per game, and without him, Coward's under trend hits in 88% of games. On the road, Coward has historically seen his under trend reach 92%, reinforcing the difficulty of scoring in Minnesota's home environment. Looking at team trends, the Timberwolves have covered in their last 2 games without Anthony Edwards, indicating they can maintain dominance even with partial absences in their lineup. The pace of the game is expected to be fast, capitalizing on the Grizzlies' missing pieces and maximizing Minnesota's home court advantage. With DiVincenzo potentially taking on the primary scoring role and Memphis struggling to compensate for absent players, the spread lean clearly favors the Timberwolves, likely winning by 8 or more points. From an analytical perspective, the player props create interesting scenarios for layered observation. A combination of DiVincenzo's scoring output and Coward's scoring limitations frames a narrative where the game could tilt heavily toward the Timberwolves, particularly if Edwards sits. The interplay of Minnesota's defensive efficiency against Memphis's weakened roster sets up a game where individual performances directly impact the overall team flow. This fast-paced, high-scoring potential matchup promises significant moments across every quarter, with the Timberwolves poised to dictate tempo and exploit mismatches. Key notes recap. Spread. Timberwolves -7.5. Injuries. Grizzlies, Zach Edey out, Cam Spencer out, John Moore questionable, Brandon Clark questionable, Timberwolves. Mike Conley out, Anthony Edwards questionable, soreness. Player props. Dante DiVincenzo over 21.5 points, Cedric Coward under 25.5 points. Recent trends. Timberwolves covered last 2 games without Edwards, Coward under hits 92% on road, 88% without Morant. Team defense stats. Grizzlies allow 3rd most points to PGs, 12th most rebounds to PGs, 16th most assists overall. Timberwolves defense versus SG 10th least points allowed, 2nd least rebounds allowed, 4th least assists allowed. Betting lean angle. Timberwolves to win at home by 8+ points. Grizzlies missing key players, fast-paced matchup expected. That's your full breakdown for tonight's Cavaliers Bulls and Grizzlies Timberwolves matchups. From Tyson's boards to DiVincenzo's scoring, and the impact of injuries on every rotation, the NBA is delivering drama in every quarter. Keep your eyes on these matchups, watch how individual performances can swing the flow, and follow the trends as the season heats up. Stay tuned to Beyond the Box Score for your next in-depth analysis, and make sure you catch every twist, every stat, and every edge the numbers reveal tonight.